Okay, this is a generic grid. It's got these features. As you can see, it has universal paging, automatically generates 7,000 lines of code in 20 seconds, and it has ASP and PHP versions. It's all Ajaxed and has all the growth features on the table. Add, delete, update. It has calendar controls, which are JavaScript and progress bars. Now, for this generic grid, we have two practical uses which could be used straight away. As you can see here, we could have a client web server and a client database server running from your organization. This client server could be a Unix or a Windows box, and it can run Apache or IIS web service, IIS web service from Microsoft, Apache open source running PHP. As you can see, you can run the PHP version under Apache or IIS, and the ASP.NET version currently works under IIS. And of course, this client web server will be connected to the client database server. So this is option 1. How will this work is the generic tool will sit on the web root folder, and then using the GenericGrid web page you can create the PHP version or the ASP.NET version, and then create subsequent sub websites attached to a table or a view, as you can see here. When you have, of course, the code behind these folders can then be modified to suit your particular application, or you can incorporate the subfolders into one huge application. So the options and permutation combinations are enormous. This is just one way of option of using this invention, my web GenericGrid tool. Okay, this is the second option of using the GenericGrid. You can use a hosting web server where it's set up like a client server where you have Apache, IIS or Windows or Linux. It's a similar setup to what you have at your own organization, but it's hosted externally. So the only difference is you will run the GenericGrid web page to create the code from the host web server, and the host web server will give you access to the GenericGrid web page to create the subsequent lower subfolder web pages on tables. So using the host infrastructure, you can see this is also a viable way of using this GenericGrid, and you could also build applications from using all these subfolders, individual websites that are attached to the table.